So that budget constraint is basically just how much can you buy given a limited amount of money, given a limited amount of resources. What are all the feasible or what are all the possible combinations of goods that you can buy given a limited amount of resources? So we also said that the budget constraint is limited by the price of the goods and the consumer's budget. We said if the consumer's budget, say it increases, well, we ought to be able to buy more, right? So what happens if this budget changes? What happens to that budget line? And if you remember, that budget line, it's just a graphical representation of the budget constraint. It's just showing us along those lines what are all the feasible possibilities or feasible combinations of goods that we can buy. And here we're going to continue on with our tacos and burgers example. We're only using two different goods. So we're going to set up this scenario of what happens if prices stay the same but income changes. Well, if prices stay the same but income changes, then we can actually move that line in a parallel fashion. Let's say, for example, that the budget doubles to $10. It was $5. This was the original budget curve or budget line when we had $5 budget. So now let's say that we now can increase our budget to $10. So how many, if the tacos were 50 cents each, how many tacos can you buy with $10? Now you can buy 20. So we can buy 0 burgers and 20 tacos. So there's our first point. And as we look at this budget constraint line, we see that tacos are over here on this side, burgers are down here at the bottom, and we can buy 0 burgers and 20 tacos for $10 now. Let's look at it on the other side. What if you bought no tacos and you bought 8 hamburgers? You can now afford 8 hamburgers. And what we're seeing is all along this budget constraint line, we have different possibilities. So now let's say our budget's at $10. We could afford 15 tacos and 2 hamburgers. Or how about 10 tacos and 4 hamburgers? Or we could even buy 5 tacos and 6 hamburgers. And this line is going to show us all of those possible combinations. So what happens if the budget is, I don't know, cut in half? So instead of it being $5 to spend, you now only have $2.50. What we're going to see is that budget constraint, that budget line, is actually going to shift inward. So when our budget increases, our income increases, that budget constraint shifts outward. But as our income decreases, our budget constraint shifts inward. We can buy less now. So let's say a budget constraint is cut in half. Now you can buy only 5 tacos and no hamburgers for $2.50. Remember, each taco is 50 cents. If you buy 5 hamburgers, you can buy, or 5 tacos, you can buy 5 tacos at 50 cents a piece and spend your $2.50. So you can have 0 hamburgers and 5 tacos. On the other side, remember the burgers are still $1.25. So you, for $2.50, if you bought no tacos, you could buy 2 hamburgers. So if your budget was $2.50, this line would then show you all of the feasible combinations of goods that you can buy. So just to kind of recap, if your income increases, if your income goes up, then the new line will shift to the right, will shift outward, and will shift in a parallel fashion. It'll move parallel to the original. But let's say your income decreases. It'll actually shift to the left. It'll go inward, and it'll move in a parallel fashion as well. But what happens if you double both of the prices at the same time? Let's say, for example, the budget stayed at $5, but now all of a sudden the tacos cost $1 and the burgers cost $2.50, and the budget still remained at $5. Well, what you would see is it would have, if we doubled both of the prices, it would have the same effect as actually having the budget. So I've got these two words actually mixed up. So if you doubled the prices, doubling the prices would then mean that you cannot buy as much. So doubling the prices would actually have the same effect as halving the budget. Whereas if you took both of those prices and struck them in half and divided them by 2, where you halved both of the prices at the same time. Now we're talking about both of the prices for tacos and burgers are both cut in half at the same time. It would actually have the same effect as doubling the budget. So just kind of to recap, if the budget increases, the income increases, that line moves outward in a parallel fashion. If the budget decreases, if that income decreases, it moves inward in a parallel fashion. If we basically increase the price of both goods at the same time, both of the goods increase by the same percentage, it would have the same effect as if you were decreasing the budget. Whereas if you decrease the prices of both goods by the same ratio, same percentage, it would have the same effect as if you were increasing the budget.